Just a quick revision on collinear points. Now, collinear points are points that lie on the same line, and because they lie on the same line, that would imply that the gradients between those points will be equal. So if we have a look at this diagram, I've got points A, B, and C. And if they lie on the same line, the gradient between A and B will be exactly the same as the gradient between B and C, which in turn will be exactly the same as the gradient between A and C. So the gradients between all those points will be the same if the points are collinear. Let's look at two examples. First of all, we want to determine if the following sets of points are collinear. So we have point A, minus 1, 0, point B, 1 and 2, and point C, 3 and 4. Now we don't want to sketch this and see if they're collinear. We want to use the gradients to determine that. So the first gradient I want to have a look at is the gradient of AB. Now remember, the gradient is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And you can choose whichever point you want to put first, as long as you put it first on the top and the bottom. So I've chosen to put point B first. So the gradient of AB will be 2 minus 0 over 1 minus minus 1, which is 2 over 2, and I can simplify that to 1. Next gradient I want to look at is the gradient of BC, which is going to be 4 minus 2 over 3 minus 1, which again simplifies to 2 over 2 and 1. And the final gradient I want to have a look at is the gradient of AC, which will be 4 minus 0 over 3 minus minus 1, which simplifies to 4 over 4, which is 1. So because all of those gradients are exactly the same, those points are collinear. Now, you only need to calculate two gradients to determine if points are collinear, but we've done all three just to make sure. In the second example, we are told that points are collinear and we need to figure out the missing value. So we want to calculate the value of m. So the first gradient you're going to work out is the gradient of the 2 points that you know completely, which would be P and Q. So the gradient of PQ will be 2 minus minus 1 over minus 1 minus 1, which simplifies to minus 3 over 2. Now I need a second gradient, and you can choose PR or QR, and I've chosen to work out the gradient of Q and R. So QR will be 5 minus 2 over the x values, so m minus minus 1. And we end up with 3 over m plus 1. Now because those points are collinear, those gradients must be equal to each other. In other words, minus 3 over 2 is equal to 3 over m plus 1. We are going to use an LCD of 2 times m plus 1. But a slightly easier way of looking at it is if I've only got one fraction on each side, I cross multiply, which means on the left I'm going to have minus 3 times m plus 1, and on the right I'm going to have 3 times 2. If I distribute the minus 3, I end up with minus 3m minus 3 is equal to 6. Take 3 over, so minus 3m will equal 9, and divide by minus 3. So your missing value, m, will be minus 3. Thanks for watching Max Maths. If you liked what you saw, please like, share and subscribe.